Hello, and welcome back to Archeo Scoop. This is the show.
where we look at news from history, archaeology, and it's my turn this week to go first. For
Yes,
real this time.
yes. Although I thought you said for a second then that we look at nudes.
I mean, we
Uh,
do that too. I mean, technically, we've talked about how the Venus of Willendorf about 40 times
this
now, and
is
she's
true.
always there.
This is true.
So we do, but the nudes and the NOODS of the
Yes,
nudes,
yes,
which we all love for
yeah.
sure. And my first story, there is so much good stuff this week. There is so
Hmm.
much good stuff this week. But I'm gonna lead with this one, which somebody sent me, and it's so good. This one comes to us from physics.org. 4,000-year-old clay tablets inscribed with magical spells and beer tabs. This
Oh,
is from the University of Copenhagen. Wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen.
Wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen, friendly old girl of a town.
Friendly old girl of a town. This is what happens when a 5,000-year-old technology meets the digital age. For over 100 years, the National Museum has housed a large collection of inscribed tablets from the earliest civilizations of the Middle East, many over 4,000 years old, and written in languages that are now extinct, of course.
hmm.
The tablets have led quite an existence, but now researchers have deciphered them and discovered fascinating texts about magic kings and good old-fashioned bureaucracy. Around 5,200 years ago, people from the ancient cultures of Iraq and Syria began carving characters into clay tablets. This new system of communication gradually made it possible to develop advanced urban societies with complex administrative systems. Over the course of 100 years, the National Museum built up a large collection of these, and then it goes on to say that this is from Hama. When the researchers began to examine the collection more closely, it turned out that it contained a wide variety of texts ranging from accounts and letters to medical treatments to magical incantations. The small group of texts originate in Hama, which was studied by the Danish expedition in the 1930s. In 720 BC, the city was destroyed and plundered by Assyrian warriors who took the spoils back to their capital of Ashur in what is now Iraq. In their haste, however, they left behind some of the clay tablets, so the matzah of clay tablets, which are now housed in the National Museum of Denmark. It says the texts in the collection that originate from Hama are almost 3,000 years old and deal with medical treatments and magical incantations. They have been left behind with the remains what we believe must have been a large temple library.
Mm.
All the other texts were gone, explains the Syriologist Troll Pank Arbol. I apologize if I mispronounce your name because I don't know how to do Dutch vowels. There you go.
It sounds as follows: Vincent van Gogh.
So according to him, the Hama texts are entirely unique, as virtually no other cuneiform texts on these subjects have been found in the same region during this period. And one text in particular caught his attention. One of the clay tablets turned out to contain so-called anti-witchcraft ritual, which was of enormous importance to the royal authority in Assyria because it had the remarkable ability to ward off misfortune, such as political instability that might befall a king. And then it goes on for a while talking about exorcism incantations, where the beer comes in, etc. And it's just lovely. It's just wonderful. It's very
Mm.
nice. And the tablets look like a Torah with two breads on the side.
Nice,
Very nice.
nice.
Mark, what's your first story?
Well, I figured I would just go for one that's just downright lovely, and that is news that butterflies were released for Sir David Attenborough's 100th birthday.
Yay!
Yeah,
Everybody make a protective circle around him.
yeah, yeah. Well, a second thing occurred to me this morning when thinking about this story, and that is that, of course, this this means that he's the same age as the Queen would have been. So they were
That's
seemingly born in
right.
the same year. I didn't
That's
realize
right.
that.
They were
Yeah,
friends. I
yeah,
believe they were friends.
yeah. Uh, anyway, Butterfly Farm was preparing to release 100 butterflies into its attraction to mark the 100th birthday of Sir David Attenborough. Stratford upon Avon Butterfly Farm will host the event on Friday, the 8th of May, with classes from local schools and Stratford upon Avon Primary and Thomas Jolliffe, Jolliffe Primary School to take part in the release. It was the 100 blue morpho butterflies released into the
Ooh.
attraction's rainforest flight area. The venue's owner, Clive Farrell, says so David Attenborough has inspired generations to care deeply about wildlife and the environment. It is a real privilege to celebrate his 100th birthday at the Butterfly Farm, especially as he has visited us in the past. And this is just one of various things that are happening. There's people like Chris Packham, and naturalists, isn't that? People. I did not mean that as a joke, and then it occurred to me
They could be
I said the
both,
wrong
you know.
word. um, Environmentalists, scientists, people who just are curious about animals all around the world know and love this man. And it's wonderful to see this building up to his birthday.
And he's still going. He has a new
Yeah,
series out too.
yeah.
He's still
But
working.
yeah, he recently did a series about London, animals in London. And again, also in that sense, I mean, 100. Some people are going, well, he's not traveling anymore. Why, I think it's good that he's doing, as you say, anything at the moment. And
Yeah,
he's also,
he just did a whole series about England's gardens.
yes,
Everybody, and it was amazing
yeah,
because it was talking about the rewilding of people's gardens. But he went to every single, I guess, small municipality that he could find where there was a good variety and diversity of wildlife.
yeah,
And he did his usual. Here we see the two squirrels
yeah,
together, and he makes it just as exciting, and he makes your backyard just as exciting and interesting
yeah,
as a rainforest.
yeah. Actually, I wasn't going to include this, but this morning I took some photos of. I basically I came upon an ambush. Literally, I stepped out the front door, and in the window by our front door, there was a spider that had just leapt onto a fly and was wrapping it up. And the fly was like, no.
Sick.
Yeah, it was like
Nice, nice, nice.
shaking, and then the spider just basically just presumably held onto it, and was just injecting it with venom. And you could see the fly just sort of jerking and then just sort of slowly succumb. And then the spider kind of turned around and dragged the fly underneath back into a little crevice. So I was thinking like this is like Shelob, but like tiny. Um,
It's dope.
but
Amazing. I hope
but
you got that whole thing on camera.
I didn't record. I got photos. I didn't record it as video. But obviously I'll be showing the images on screen. But it's that excitement that that he brings to everyone, and the fact that he is essentially the voice of any and all observational documentary making. Really, even when people are joking and observing people in the wild, they'll use his voice, won't they? And the other thing as well, the great thing about him is that he really was a part. Sorry, is he's not. He is a pioneer, but he was when he had the job of being I think the commissioner for BBC Two. He was essentially running the channel, of introducing some really interesting comedy, diverse approaches to culture and language being shown on the BBC, and of course animals. So he's a literally a broadcasting legend. And I know we're a touch early, but his birthday's coming very very soon, and it's just
Don't you jinx it, Mark.
no,
Don't you
no,
jinx it.
no, I'm not. I'm not. But it's going to be so lovely to see people just celebrating this guy, and he deserves it absolutely. Mm.
Well, my next story is not that exciting by comparison because who can compare to Sir David? But this one is pretty good. This one was I saw first mentioned by our wonderful friend Dr. Ten, and this one says Iliad found stuffed inside Egyptian mummy. And I had hesitated because I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about this one, Mark. But this is the fragments of the poem that were found inside of the Egyptian mummy. Did you? I think you know about this one. What?
No, no, no. Well, I'm just wondering, like, are we talking about stuffing as in stuffing the cavity, the torso cavity? Yes. Okay. Cool. Yes. Okay. Because
Yes.
initially I was going to like Ash in Alien, just
Oh,
just shoving a magazine down the mummy's mouth. But no, no.
yes.
Okay.
So
No, no.
yes, and this is pretty amazing. So archaeologists have found a copy of Homer's Iliad stuffed inside an ancient Egyptian
Wow.
mummy buried 1,600-year-old tomb. The discovery marks the first time that a Greek literary text has been found deliberately incorporated.
Hmm.
into the mummification ritual. The fragment of the Iliad was found in the stomach of the mummy buried in the Roman era tomb
Mm.
in the northern Egyptian town of Al-Banasa. I believe that's how it's pronounced, near the Nile, formerly ancient Oxyrhynchus. Apologies if that's not the right Roman pronunciation. One of the most important sites of Greco-Roman Egypt. Oxyrhynchus was the site of a series of papyrus excavations carried out by two Oxford scholars
Hmm.
in the late 19th and 20th
They've got
centuries.
nothing on the Bembridge scholars.
Oh, Jonathan, please, I'm really not in the mood for you. I've just made a bit of a mess in the library, and the Bembridge scholars have rejected my application form again. They say I don't have enough experience in the field.
Nothing at all,
No,
darling.
no,
Nothing
no,
at all.
no.
Nobody cares about them. In which they also
I
found
am a
many.
librarian. Sorry.
Thank you, Evie.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yes, exactly. I'm a librarian, yet she knows ancient Egyptian
Yeah,
languages.
of course you do.
Of course, because Evie's amazing. In which
Yep.
they also found many fragments of Greek text, poetry, private letters, and tax receipts. Pretty great. The
Hmm.
mummy was so even in death, you can't escape taxes. The
No.
mummy was initially found by researchers from the University of Barcelona during an excavation in November and December last year, ending one of Spain's longest archaeological missions to Egypt. The papyrus was placed on the abdomen of the mummy, an unusual move as part of the embalming process. Ancient papyri written in Greek have been found inside the Egyptian mummies, but have all held texts with magical themes.
Hmm.
So this seems to be the first one that has, I mean, you could say maybe the Iliad is about a journey, but who knows? The Iliad papyrus discovery is the first time such canonical work has been found in a funerary context. The papyrus was found to belong to a well-known section listing the Greek military ships in Book 2 of the Iliad. It's one of the most celebrated passages in the history of Western literature. The epic poem is separated into 24 books and dates back to 800 BCE. Follows the final year of the Trojan War, which did not happen.
Hmm.
And the Greek warriors Achilles' heroic pursuits, combining ancient Greek culture and mythology. And so
Okay.
I'll let you read the rest of that, but this is pretty crazy. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. No, I really like that. And the,
I just
the fact.
imagine that the person was like a student going, "You didn't want to read it in life? Well, here you go."
Yeah, I told you. I told you it was good. Yeah. No, I think I want. Yeah, the question then inevitably is whether someone requested that, or whether, as you say, because tax receipts are also included, whether
Here's
it's
the
just
taxes you
someone's
didn't
office
pay.
just been emptied into them. I mean, because there's lots of bits of paper around here. I'm sure they could fill my cavities with. So, no, fascinating. That's really interesting.
Starts taking all the rolling them up and putting them up your nose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Like color forms they used to do when you were kids. Take the color, roll it up, just stick it up
Yep,
there.
yep. One of my longest habits has always been taking labels
Sticking
off
things
things.
up your nose.
Well, no, not quite, but taking labels off things and then rolling them tightly into a roll, and
So it's like that. It's like that. That section of Was It Still Game where Victor is where they have Victor and Jack with the Tunnix tea cakes wrappers.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
do you flatten it out or do you smash it into a ball?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, I flatten and carefully sort of also try and I think is it burnishing where you sort of try and sort of really get it to be flat and shiny.
To be flat and shiny.
Yeah. Nice.
That's what serial killers do.
Well, it's either that or kill people, isn't it? So, my second story of the episode is one that I wanted you to comment on. So I knew that you'd be like, so I figured I would include it.
Is it May Day, Mark? Is it something to do with May Day?
No, and it's not to do with the second Halloween or whatever it was.
Walpurgisnacht.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Walpurgisnacht is the night before May Day.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with Halloween.
No.
It is it's an early modern holiday, and it was
Yeah.
named after Saint Walpurga. Nothing to do. It was only associated with witches long after.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. There's your summary.
But this one actually, it comes from Popular Mechanics, one of my favourites, and it is the headline: "A new discovery at Easter Island could rewrite history as we know it."
What is it, Mark?
Radiocarbon dating of ancient scripts suggests groundbreaking origin story. Today, today, humans inhabit or have, at the very least, explored pretty much every corner of the planet. But that immense proliferation of Homo sapiens across the globe, as the article says, was a slow process, with the first humans leaving Africa between 60 to 90,000 years ago. Wow, they're really putting this into context, aren't they? Located 2,360 miles off the coast of Chile, Easter Island, which annexed the country back in 1888, is also known as Rapa Nui. It's one of the most isolated places in the world, and its native people who are...
Oh, is this about the Rongo Rongo
It is,
script?
yeah, who are
Yeah.
named the Rapa Nui, first arrived on the island shores between 1150 and 1280 CE. Now, they lived in isolation, it says here, until the arrival of the Dutch in 1722. And one of the questions is to do with, as you say, the written language that has been attributed to them. This is a script known as the Rongorongo, and I do believe that you talked about this in the previous episode, haven't you? Three-dimensional
Yes.
writing system that uses
Yes.
pictorial signs known as glyphs.
Yes, and we don't know what it says, but
No.
it is super cool. It's on a big
Yeah.
piece like this, and we know it's a script. We just don't know. We have no idea. We
No.
don't understand the language. We don't know any of the any of like the characters. No idea.
And this is where it's interesting, but also potentially a little bit sensitive, because apparently the script was not first described, and as is so often the case in European-based academia, until something is observed and described, it potentially didn't exist. Described until 1864. Archaeologists and historians have since pondered an enduring question, and that is, did Rapa Nui independently invent this language, i.e. before 1722? Yes. This writing system, or were they influenced by having seen that Europeans had written language in the early 1700s? Now, a study is attempting to solve this linguistic conundrum by suggesting that using radiocarbon dating, one of the 27 wooden objects containing Rongorongo inscriptions predates the arrival of Europeans at around 1493 to 1509. This finding suggests that Rapa Nui could possibly have invented this writing system, a rare feat throughout human history, and one usually associated with complex states independently of other people. The other strong piece of evidence is the homegrown language theory is that Rongorongo functions much differently than European languages, which would appear to suggest no discernible outside influence. The question is crucial importance, as it implies possibility of independent invention of writing, but there is an issue with the dating of this wood. So while one of the 4 tablets examined provides a pre-European evidence date for the language, the discovery also comes with a few caveats. For one, radiocarbon dating can only detect when a tree was cut down.
Yes.
So when it's stopped.
So I understand where they're going with this.
Yeah.
The question is now they're dating the wood. Does the script come after the wood?
Yeah. And could it even have come hundreds of years after the wood? To gather further evidence, Ferrara, one of the academics associated with this research, would like to examine other remaining tablets, which are all that is left of the long forgotten language, but they've been scattered across the globe and are not easy to access. For now, the search continues in an effort to place contributions of these native people in the correct historical context. And this is why it's sensitive. Is not only is there the obvious sensitivity in terms of people learning language because written language because they were exposed to it, but also there's this question of I think the correct context is a great way of putting it, because it's still a heck of an achievement to develop your own writing system, even if you've just been inspired by another one. Because it's clearly not the same structure or based on, for example, the Greek alphabet.
Yeah, no, we know
Yeah,
that Rongo Rongo has patterns. We
yeah,
have no idea how they're related,
yeah,
or we don't even we can't even fathom a sound system for them, or we don't even know if it was a sound-based language,
yeah.
or whether these are syllables, or whether, no idea. I will say this, if it is later, I don't see any problem with that. You know,
No.
people think, oh no, Rongo Rongo has to be ancient. Well, who cares if it's ancient? It's still, as you say, it's still a language we cannot decipher, still a writing system we
Hmm.
cannot
Hmm.
decipher, that they made up by themselves. So what's wrong if they see, oh, those
Yeah,
guys have an alphabet? And I know you're going with this, Mark, and I will give this example, and the example of Ogham, or Ogham, which is, for
mm,
many, many years, people thought it was an ancient Druidic
yeah,
tree language
yeah,
because Robert Graves was an idiot and lied to people. And then when people started dating these, they realized, oh, Ogam, or Oam, however you would pronounce it, it's both acceptable, was based on the Roman alphabet. So it
yeah.
can't be earlier
No,
than the Roman alphabet. It's
no,
not possible,
no, exactly.
because we can read
Yeah,
Ogam or Oam. We can read
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So if we can read it and it makes sense based on the Roman alphabet, it cannot be before then,
No.
because that language, or rather that writing system, was made specifically to represent Roman alphabet.
And Roman, yeah, the needs of the Roman language in terms
Right,
of sound.
exactly. Or
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
language, or
yeah,
whatever Proto-Celtic, because they did write
yeah. Well,
Proto-Celtic
I
things.
mean, I suppose you could just about push it back a little bit through trade, but it's still exposure to the Roman world.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
point. So
yeah,
too with this.
yeah. Mm.
If it's exposure to the Western world, who cares? They've made up.
A
We
writing language.
still
Yeah.
can't
Mm.
decipher. Oh, unlike Ogham, we can't decipher this.
No,
So
no.
meaning that they used an approximation of whatever their vowels have, whatever their diphthongs, triphthongs, whatever it is that they used.
Mm.
This is a representation of their, and how, what they would have written their language in, because
Mm.
this is not a European language. So even if they were exposed to writing, it's okay. They made up their own script to represent their language, which we do not know.
Yeah, but interestingly, it makes me think of Braille actually as well. You know, so in so much as Braille, no one would say Braille isn't a valid structure for communicating information in what is a visually and crucially perceptible through touch form of writing.
Exactly.
And yes, it exists because of exposure to the notion that you can write down language. So and this is why I like the way that they word it. They say it's the proper context. They're not suggesting, oh well, if they already knew about writing, it's cheating, kind of thing. But here's something else that I thought you might find cool. And I'm so glad that it's come up as the related story again. This must just be anchored to this webpage. Related story: the story of humanity's search for Bigfoot. So I'm not going to go into it, but there's a whole article. Could Bigfoot really be out there? And one thing that I did learn from it, I didn't realize that Sasquatch is actually a Native American word or
That's
name.
correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's cool.
Yes. That's why we
Um,
use that here, and
yeah,
specifically in Canada.
no, I like it. Yeah. Is it Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yowie, skunk ape,
Yep. I've heard that one
Yayali,
before.
I think. Um,
Even Yeti.
Yeti, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I
Hmm.
just thought it was kind of interesting that they figured a related story was could Bigfoot
It's
really be out there?
Bigfoot made the Rongo Rongo script, and then he
Yeah.
disappeared. Hi guys, here's writing.
Hi.
Bye.
Yeah.
And then he
Oh,
walks into the sea.
yeah,
And that's really who the faces on Eastern Island represent: Bigfoot. Who brought them writing?
yeah. Writing and love. Yeah.
We bring
Bless.
you love.
Yeah.
We bring you
Burn
peace.
it with fire. So do you have a bonus this week?
I do actually. I
Uh-huh.
had two bonus. I had bonum, but
I beg your
I
pardon.
but this one is more important, I think,
Uh-huh.
and we'll save the next one for next time, which is the internet's most powerful archiving tool is in peril. And I don't mean to end it on a downer, because we've had such happy articles this week that
Uh-huh.
anything that doesn't start with D or I, but this one is really important. It was in major news outlets cut off the Wayback Machine. Journalists and advocacy groups are rallying to protect the Internet's archive's vast collection of web pages.
Oh.
And we often talk about how digital preservation is part of archaeology, is part of
Hmm.
history.
Hmm.
It's extremely important for modern day preservation of history.
Yeah.
And the Internet Archive should be protected at all costs. And they manage the Wayback Machine, which is an archive of all defunct web pages,
Hmm.
which we really need. People need it for research. It says, published an excellent report revealing how U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement delayed disclosing key information about impacts of detaining policies. The authors used the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine to compile and analyze detention statistics. So people are
Yeah.
still using it,
Mm.
and people
Is
are.
is the issue that you can use the Wayback Machine to look at articles that are behind paywalls? Is that it?
No, actually,
No.
interesting. Yeah, no, it's that the Wayback Machine has information that people don't want you to have access to. They want you to
Oh, okay.
forget.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they're trying, so they've a lot of news outlets that are also, you can't really use the Wayback Machine for AI scraping. And so a lot of a lot of uh news outlets are now not using it, and they're trying to get other people to stop using it too.
Right. Okay.
And so it just says that this story is one of the countless examples of how the Wayback Machine, which crawls and preserves web pages, has helped preserve information for the public good. And
Yeah.
that's the point, is
Mm.
that the Wayback Machine is is a way to preserve information that people would otherwise rather have be forgotten.
I've literally been using it earlier this year when researching the history of the local park. It's
That's right.
invaluable for just for logging just small incremental changes. For example, when do people stop using this terminology and that, and so, but also, as you say, crucial for journalism, crucial for communal remembering. And presumably, is it the format of the website that makes it not easy for scraping in that sense? Because
Yeah.
it makes sense to people in terms of how it's used, but it's not just a simple website like a blog. It's not just, you can't just read it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Oh dear. Okay. Well.
So
Yeah.
the Internet Archive is calling for people to please protect the use and protect the Wayback Machine,
Mm,
which we desperately need in not only modern times, but for posterity. It's really
mm.
important that we keep the crappy GeoCities websites going. MySpace, you know,
Oh, is it Angel Wings? Was that one?
Angel Fire,
Angel Fire.
Angel Fire,
Angel
Angel
Fire.
Fire, and Alta Vista.
Have I don't think
All
I've
that good
shown you my
stuff.
Angel Fire website, have I? It's so incredibly cringe. It's from the early
Oh,
two
but yeah,
thousands.
but that's the point. That's
Yeah,
the joy.
yeah.
If you've ever played, there's a wonderful game called Hypnospace Outlaw, which is all about, it looks like late 90s internet, and
Hmm.
you are supposed to be sort of a detective. There's a whole story behind it. But the whole thing, it looks like GeoCities and Angel Fire, and it's wonderful.
Nice,
And I
nice.
highly recommend it if you ever
Yeah,
want to see how the internet was in them days.
yeah, yeah.
Hypnospace
The
Outlaw.
days of MSN Messenger. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
IRC,
Yeah,
absolutely. The BBS boards. Yeah,
yeah.
sure. 100%.
Wow. Well, you, I do believe, have an excellent new book out today, do you not?
Yes, that's right. My newest werewolf book, Shadow Bride, is out today, right now,
Uh-huh.
at all in all places. I did not time it for Walpurgisnacht because Walpurgisnacht has nothing to do with wolves, despite what many people think.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was but it is all about werewolf family politics. So if you're interested in entailed estates, Austen-esque family squabbles, then I highly recommend you give it a go.
Okay,
As
cool.
one person said, highly readable.
Highly readable. Nice. Yeah, so I essentially have collected a physical copy of most of Michelle's books, and I'll be getting this one as well. I'm halfway through its prequel. I'm terribly sorry, um, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
You bought it. Don't be sorry
Yeah.
for buying and reading it.
No, 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 no.
Don't even be sorry if you don't like it. Don't even be sorry for that. You support it, and that's the point.
Is it? How would you say that it's closer to Austin or closer to, like, I hate to say it, but Twilight?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dickens. That would have
Oh,
been
not Dickens.
more
Oh God, no,
offensive.
no, 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 no,
No, no, not Dickens. No, no.
no. No. I mean, in terms of, because obviously there's a parallel in terms of someone being exposed to a whole version of society that they weren't previously aware of. I guess, isn't there? Would you say it's
Oh no, not
no, no,
not 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 Twilight at all.
no?
Definitely more. It's Beauty and the Beast
Yeah,
with Austen antics. That's how
nice,
I would describe it.
nice.
They're sassy butlers, very lovely cooks. Agatha is seems to be lots of people's favorites. Where she's a very Glaswegian woman
Nice.
who who loves to hold on to, who loves to cuddle with her. Let me just cradle with my wee bread a bit more, and she just goes like that.
Cuddles the bread. Did she then have to monitor people slicing the bread, or
Oh no, no, she'll do
she's
it
not that
herself. She
precious?
also has crying cheese, which was a historical thing,
Nice.
but it was not the same thing. So her one of her maids who's from oh so it was a bit to the north. That's Miss Aggie's crying cheese, and so she gives her a pre-sliced cheese with the bread.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
it's for distress.
I like it. I like it.
But the whole story is, so the first story of Shadow Beast was a Beauty and the Beast retelling,
Yeah.
with werewolves and eldritch creatures, and then this one, Shadow Bride, is all about Lord Darren's family and why marrying Madeline, who is his belle, uh, might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And of course, the cover art is wonderful. You've got the little hand grabbing the big claw,
Well, that
and
was always my issue with how Beauty and the Beast, the Disney version, ended,
mm,
which is we wanted the Beast to stay the Beast because, as we said previously, you can see Belle's disappointment
yeah, the
when he turns back. She goes,
yeah,
and that's exactly how we all felt. We all felt cheated and robbed because we all fell in love with the big macho wildebeest man, and that's what we wanted. And so I said to John Barello, who did the cover, I said, John, and I so showed him the still of at the end of the movie where the beast reaches
yes,
out to Belle's hand and she takes his finger. I'm like, this is what we were robbed of. This is what I want. And so
yeah,
this is his rendition of it. Yeah.
very good, very good. Well, folks, the book is now available. I shall link below. And of course, check out all of Michelle's other books, including her holiday themed books and the up. You can also, can you pre order the holiday book yet?
Yes,
Yes?
you can pre-order the holiday book, but you have to do it through the publisher. So it's the history of Western holidays.
Yeah,
I think it's something. Are they pagan or Christian? Why everything's made up and it doesn't matter.
yeah,
And is the subtitle, and you can pre-order that anywhere good books are sold. But if you do pre-order, go pre-order it with Crosscrow Publishing, and if we get enough pre-orders, they might ask for another one. So.
nice, nice. I should say, folks, Michelle didn't ask me to do all this. I can see that she's slightly cringing that I'm making her talk about. But it is, yes, today is the release date. The day of recording is the release date, 30th of April. So, yeah, check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, do comment below if there's anything else that you'd like us to pay attention to or talk about in terms of archaeological news. And as ever, until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.